Hey guys, if you haven't tuned into the Patreon podcast yet, make sure you check it out. The link is in the description. It's on Patreon and it's just like $5 a month. And you get to tune into a podcast every week and I talk about various subjects, lots of talk about a lot of subjects when it comes to bodybuilding and life and how to fight monsters in the woods, stuff like that.
All right. If you guys throw shit at me this time, I'm running you over. You gotta be really firm with these guys. You gotta be
train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Glands Bodybuilding.
mountain.
And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the split that gave me the most results to win at the highest level in natural bodybuilding. Now, this is one of those things where just because a certain split gives me the best results does not mean that that's the split that will give you the best results, because like I say on this channel lots of times, we're all a bit different.
Hello? Any monsters out there?
Now, I have found some theories or some types of programs to be a little bit BS for most people, because people don't understand that back in the Weider time, where he was giving the Weider principles in muscle and fitness, and these workout templates were standard, such as, you train chest this day and biceps this day and whatever. There was a certain sort of group agreement that, hey, this is how you gain muscle. What the muscle magazines were prescribing, that's how you gain muscle. And there was a lot of good, just basic, fundamental theories that were there. But of course, what would happen is there were people that are saying, I want to make money from selling workout programs, so how do I brand myself and become different? And then they started saying absurd things like, like the 5-minute abs sort of scenario. And therefore they branded themselves and were able to make an entire income from selling workout programs, not necessarily because it was the most legitimate way or even the way that they got results, but it was the way that was easiest to market. So I think a lot of people got scammed a little bit by some of these people in the industry who were basically saying, this method was how I got results. Meanwhile, that method was not how they got results. They used a totally different method altogether. And I'm talking about high profile names. I'm not going to mention right here, but I don't believe for a second, and I've talked to some of these people in person, I don't believe for a second that they were saying the truth when it came down to training, although they had some relevant theories or hypotheses that were worth investigating. And I think part of those principles apply to your workouts, but I do not believe for a second that the whole type of program was the best thing for everybody. So on that note, I'm going to say just because something works for me doesn't mean it's the best thing for you. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I want you to investigate this program. This channel is about you bringing more awareness and learning and expanding your own wisdom when it comes down to your own body and how to get results. It isn't about just perpetuating dogma, right? So a lot of people ask me like, Jason, what do you think about this type of program? What do you think about that type of program? The truth is that if you don't see me doing it, most likely my opinion is not the highest of it. Unless, of course, I haven't heard of, a certain type of exercise or training, because there's always new things and whatever. But most likely, if I'm not doing it, there's a reason why I'm not doing it. It's because I'm doing what I feel is going to give me the best result, right? So that's all any one of us can do. So moving on to what program gave me the most results, I will start by saying in the beginning I did an upper body workout 3 days a week when I was 14 years old till the time I was 16 to 17 years old, and then I went to a 3-day split. And I got a fair amount of results from a 3-day split type program. It actually felt pretty good. But as much as that program gave me some results, my results skyrocketed and got much better once I went to a 2-day split type program, along with higher frequency from time to time, such as I train chest, back, and legs in a workout, then chest, back, and legs, and then I'd go to an arm day, and then I'd go back to my big 3 muscle groups, right? So I do bench presses, bent over rows, and squats in the same workout. Really low volume though, only 2 or 3 sets. But that's what I would do. I would stimulate the body more often with the bigger movements that gave me the best bang for my buck. And that's when I started getting comments from judges at natural bodybuilding shows saying, Jason, stop training your legs, they're too big, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to say higher frequency type training was the type of training that got me the best results, but I obviously had to bring down the volume to compensate, and I couldn't be lifting in the 3 or 4 rep range either. My reps would have to be a little bit higher, like 10 to 15, 20, you know, in that area. Anywhere from 8 to 25 reps in that area was mostly where I trained in. So it's not like I trained exclusively that way, but for long periods of time, that's the way I would train, and I got the most results that way instead of doing the standard sort of bro split or something. I just had someone in the comments say, oh, you know, all the top pros use bro splits because they're the best. I found that I lost results. When I went to a 4-day split, which is basically like a bro split, I lost results. I started getting smaller because by the time I was recovered in one muscle group, there was still 3 or 4 more days before I was going to train it again. So I found that for some reason, that type of frequency, no matter how high the volume, was not a great way for me to train. Not long term anyway, maybe short term, but long term, I got less results and I wasn't responding as well. But when my body really started responding was when I was applying the callus principle that I talk about, the callus principle. You do a little bit of something every day or more frequently anyway, at least every second day, your body seems to respond better to small amounts of stimulus more often, and that was the way it was for me. Now, if you're a person that is more like, they say endomorphic, right? Or you have more fast twitch fibers or whatever, you might respond better to some type of bro split where you train hard and then don't train again. Now, I know some bodybuilders out there, you know, in the drug realm make crazy claims. And I don't think these claims apply to natural bodybuilders at all. Like Tom Platz, for instance, he was saying that he only trained legs twice in a month and got great results. I mean, that would be absurd. Like if I train legs twice in a month, I might as well just go and stock up on Haagen-Dazs and pizza and just sit on a couch, because the bottom line is that I'd be so out of shape from doing that, there's not much point in me even training, you know? Because I find if I train only like a body part only once every 2 weeks, it's like I'm way backwards. I'm out of shape. I'm not able to use the same type of poundages. I'm not able to use the same type of reps. My endurance goes way down, my coordination goes down, and my breath and cardio go down. It's not even worth it for me to train at that point. So there is a point of the perfect amount of volume and a perfect amount of frequency for you, and really investigate it for sure. But a lot of times I find that some of these pros, they make these grandiose claims because they can, because their results are coming from something different than us naturals, right? And natural bodybuilders, they have to stimulate the system, stimulate the muscle, and also eat and sleep properly and find that perfect storm. But you can't just rely on all these hormones circulating around in your system for weeks at a time to do the job for you, right? Nothing against guys that want to go that route, but it's not a road that I want to tread upon, because the danger inherent just for some muscles or whatever, like what's the point, right? I want to live for a long time and be able to train for a long time. And if I'm a little bit smaller or quite a bit smaller, who cares, right? Like whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, if you plan on staying natural like me, then you have to find that sweet spot between volume and frequency. And for me, it was a 2-day split or super high frequency type of training from time to time, and then back to a 2-day split. And that seems to be where I get the most results and I feel the most comfortable in my body. Mountain. So I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com. And thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Natural Galant.